Last season, we finished in 5th place in the league. Unfortunately, Čukarički won the cup, so despite finishing in the European places, we didn't get European football because the team that finished in 7th won the cup. We are looking for revenge, and we're looking to win a place in European football again for the very first time in many years. The question is, can we do it? The media don't think we can. They're expecting us to finish bottom of the table in 16th place, though our average age of the squad is only 22, which tells me a lot. And I'm thinking to myself, we have a great opportunity, even if we're losing our best players this summer. Yes, Jasmine Cordovich leaves us for European football next season, and Belic, his replacement, will be coming up in the first team, and I think he's ready, even if the backroom staff don't think he is. But still, the squad is actually starting to fill out quite nicely and feel like a team that can develop and grow. I think we will be fine as long as we do as well as we did last year. The tactic is finally clicking. The players are finally good enough for the tactic. Let's see what we can do in this upcoming season, shall we? So we sent a load of players out on loan this year, and we got rid of 4 players, 2 of which I wanted to get rid of permanently. But Goalkeeper has also left us as well. He has gone to a non-playable league team in Timok, so we haven't got to deal with him anymore. And yes, a lot of players going out on loan. It should be good for their development. Our affiliates are really useful in that regard. Hopefully, we can do a lot with this. However, let's look at the league start, and we won 3 of our first 4 league games of the year, and we didn't concede a single goal in the first 6 matches, so our defensive record from last year is coming true again, and it only took Red Star beating us in the 8th game of the year for our first defeat of the year, but even then, we looked very strong here, and I genuinely believe we could do really well in this situation. The fact we drew so many times was really good. Spartak, particularly being the first team we beat, then we beat TSC, who we generally have issues with. Vostovec drawing against us, it's good to see we can get points against them as well. And then look at these results. Milotic scoring goals. You're going to notice something a bit concerning though. We're not scoring a lot of goals, despite the fact we're doing this well. And Red Star game kind of showed, yes, it's Red Star. I'm not looking at them thinking we should be winning that game every single time, because it's Red Star, they're very, very good. But I look at some of these games and I think, well, we're doing okay. This game against Rednik Nice was probably the exception for that. 3-goal win. Don't often get that. And Stankom is in the 92nd minute of the game. Very disappointed with that, unfortunately, for us. And yeah, it's a thing we need to work on and hope that we can do well. We actually did quite well in the Cup. We're actually in the quarterfinals of the Cup for the first time in many, many years. And if we look at that sheet in the form in November, we had a horrible run of form in the league because we lost 4 of the last 6 games and we didn't beat anyone. Even if we did come very close to beating Partizan again. For some reason, Partizan could not deal with us, though we did give up a 2-goal lead here, which is a bit disappointing, and I thought we could do better. And it's very frustrating to know that we threw away a 2-goal lead against perhaps the best team in the league. So as things stand, we are 1 point clear of Čukarički, who do have a game in hand on us, unfortunately. And I'm really hopeful that this is not a bad omen for things to come, but yeah, hopefully we can still stay top half here. We've not had the best end of this period before the winter break, and I thought we could do better. And there was a title fight between Red Star, Partizan, and Vostovec, which is interesting to see that that's actually a thing that's happening. And it's good to see a 3-way fight instead of just a 1-horse race. But yes, it's very good to see that there is a fight there. Though I also don't like the fact we are so close to potentially falling out of the top half. We are only 4 points away from 4th though, so legitimately we could get European football this year. I'm really hopeful that is the case. But if you look at the youth candidates preview we have, we're expecting to have a wide midfielder, a good winger, and 2 strikers. That's good. I would like to have a striker or 2. I do want more defenders as well, but given the talent that we have right now, I don't think the defenders is an issue really. So let's go ahead and see what this youth intake brought us in March and see if we've already qualified for top half finish or not, or if we're struggling for form once more. Hopefully the winter break can reinvigorate our form to the league, because let's be honest, 6 games without a win is not good enough for a top flight side looking for European football. Well, the youth intake's arrived, and I like to think it's actually a particularly useful intake because we've got the likes of Filip Dukanovich, who generally looks quite exciting as a winger, can play as an inverted winger, can play as an attacking midfielder, can play as a striker. Not a very good striker because his finish is a bit poor, but I like to think this guy will be very good in the long run for us because with all the positions he can play, he needs to work at a few things, yes, but honestly, not bad at all. We also have the likes of Dusan Rasic, and this guy looks very exciting. Look at the speed he's got. Could be a good winger, could also be a striker. Needs to work on his finishing and his composure and his balance and his stamina and his decisions, but his speed makes him very dangerous. He likes to try and play his way out of trouble though, which might be a problem, but he's also 15. He's got a lot of potential to work with. We also have the likes of Milivoje Belentizjevic as well, and this guy is exciting. I can't say his name to save his life though, but he's got good mentals. He does have a few things he needs to work on, and he's actually got better finishing than most of my intakes that get on their way, which is very useful to say the least. Does need work, but hey, he's still exciting. I'm happy with him. The last person I want to talk about is Nikola Jenovich, and this is the guy we're told to expect as the left right midfielder. He's got pace. He's got a lot of pace, great natural fitness. He does need work in a lot of areas, but as a winger, could be useful. Just needs to work on more on his pace, and we'll be golden with this guy. I really believe that. But yes, let's now talk about the results we had since we last met. Ladies and gentlemen, the winter break has helped us massively. We won 2-0 the first game. We then drew against Red Star. So Red Star actually legitimately struggled against us, and I'm very happy that's the case. Because it now tells me that we can actually fight against the big teams in this league. And then we won 4 games in a row in the league, and I was very happy about it. 3-0 win against Kup, 2-0 against Novi Sad, 2-0 against Nissan. We beat Kup. We beat the team that our best goalkeeper left for in the league. They just beat us in the cup on penalty. So disappointing with that. We also drew 3-3 against Novi Sad and gave up a 3-goal lead. I've not done that before, and I'm frustrated that I did here. But yes, 3-0 against Novi Sad, and we gave it away. So that's all I got to say. Disappointing. We did beat Radnik Sodelica as well. We do have Partizan in the last game of this particular group, but the league looks like this. We're top half bound. We are in 5th place right now, though we are in a very tight fight to try and get 4th and 5th because TSC and Metalec are looking quite strong. We've also got Vozodina, who look quite good as well. Stankom had a horrible run of form towards the end of the season. Remember when they were just 1 point behind us with a game in hand? That we've opened up such a huge gap over them tells me just how good our form was and just how bad their run of form was. This has been really good. I'm really hopeful we can keep this up and get a European football spot next year. Don't care where it is, as long as we get European football. It'll be good for the finances, because we're financially starting to look a bit questionable, and I don't like that's the case. So here's a little random fact. We actually got a new takeover. We got taken over before the youth intake arrived. And it was literally a few days before. And we have got Dumitru Mihu, who is officially now our new club president. He has a very interesting situation because we generally wasn't expecting this takeover to happen. But we've got no investments at all. He's replaced our background staff with his background staff. So we've got a few Romanians in the directors' positions. And we've now got a Romanian president. And I thought, you know what? Fair enough. And this guy could be interesting. I think going forward that we hopefully will get more money long term with this guy. But hey, he's taken over us as we're champion for Europe. But I also somehow forgot to mention this because I was so interested and excited about where we finished in the regular season that I generally forgot to mention the fact we got a new president and we got taken over before the youth intake arrived. So awkward timings for that. So we actually lost our last game of the regular season, and then we went in the next phase, and you're going to see the forward and think, what on earth happened? Well, we won our first 2 games, and I thought, okay, that's great. We beat TSC again, beat Poleta Novi Sad. Then we drew 0-0 against Vojvodina, and then we took on Metalec, lost 2-1 after being 1-0 up. Then we lost 2-1 against Vostovec, and I thought, okay, they're in a title fight, makes sense we'll lose to them. We then got a 0-0 draw against Red Star, so Red Star for some reason could not beat us this year, apart from the opening game. And then Partizan beat us 1-0 at their ground again, and I'm scared for the league, because I realise now, 4 games without a win in any phase of the season is not good. And then it turns out we missed out on European football by 2 points. Yep, we can't even claim European football. We can't even claim the fact that a team below us won the cup this year, because that wasn't the case. The cup final isn't even with those teams. It's with Metalek and Partizan, and they're both above us. So, yeah, disappointing that's the case, really. I genuinely believe that this year could be the year we could do it, that we could get European football, but no. Despite getting 20 clean sheets, we couldn't get European football, and we actually got more points than last year, which is the worst part about this situation. We legitimately got more points than last year, and we missed out because of the fact that the teams around us got more points as well. It's frustrating to say the least. We got 57 points last year. We lost more games than we did, and we did a lot better this year. We drew more games, and we won more games. That was literally what it was. We traded 2 defeats for a victory and a draw, and we couldn't trade it enough. So the Novi Sad 3-0 game that we slipped up and drew 3-3 in, that's probably what cost us long term, but really what's cost us is the lack of goals. We scored just 44 goals in 37 matches this year, and while we got an amazing defense, the second best defense in the league, the lack of goals has cost us, and that's all I can really say in this matter. It's all you can really claim, isn't it, really? The lack of goals is our weakness. So remember that I normally go through the scene review. Somehow I might have lost it. I genuinely don't know how I've done that. I do know, because we actually finished the season before they did. So apparently because of that, I've lost the season review thing, so I can't go through it this year. Which is interesting to know. That is actually an issue that I can avoid next time out. Interesting. But yes, our club vision expectations, we are still expected to fight bravely against relegation, but they want me to become an established Superliga club in 2 years, which I think is very exciting, because they generally have vision to improve the club and do well. We're also expected to develop players using the club youth system, which, let's be honest, if we're not doing that in this side of the type of save, I'll be very concerned. Play defensively solid football, play possession football, play high tempo pressing football. If we can do those, we're golden. Also, we actually moved back to Partizan Stadium again, and it'll help us financially, I like to think, but last time we went back here, we got relegated, so hopefully that won't be the issue this time. I really hope we're not going to have this issue at all, but if we can do well, then we could do well, right? Right? So the end of the season's arrived, and Spartak Subotica have just been relegated. Yep, they, after, avoiding relegation by coming from 4-0 down to win 5-4 last time, they couldn't do it this time. They lost 2-1 in the first leg and lost 1-0 in the second leg. They are officially down for the first one to save, and yeah, it's one of those things, unfortunately enough. And the fact that Spartak Subotica went down with MacLeod Sabak and Radnik Sodolika is interesting as well. It says a lot about how badly that went for those two teams. Partizan won the cup final 5-0. I don't know why I doubted them in this save, because they've been really good. Red Star legitimately might go 10 whole years without a competitive trophy. And for Red Star, the team that looked so good in the save at the beginning, to go 10 years without a trophy. They haven't won a trophy since the first season of the save, and that was 2022. We're now in 2030. The fact they've almost gone 10 years without a trophy is ridiculous, and it says how good Partizan have been. But yeah, fascinating to know that Red Star could go 10 years without a league trophy. Who would have thought it? As for the teams going up, well, Loznica are going to be wondering how on earth they blew this, because they actually were top of the regular season, then somehow didn't even go up as champions or through the promotion places, because Jeva Ivajika and Napadak Kosovek have both gone up automatically, while Zelenika have gone up through the playoffs. So, yay for them. Loznica lost to Radnikinis, so I think that tells you what you need to know, really, doesn't it? This is kind of what I'm looking at for my first team, though, for this year. And Cordovich is no longer the best defender. And I think could legitimately be replaced in the near future. We've got another player who's stepping up and developing as a centre-back now. And I'm very excited that's the case, yeah? We do need a player to come in and replace, well, just to really step up in the left winger position. I genuinely think we need someone to step up in the right winger position long term, because we don't have that right now. But yeah, hopefully we can do better. But let's start with the goalkeeper, shall we? Stefan Dycovich has actually really developed this year and looks legitimately good enough, like he'll be good enough to be better than Stanojevic, which at the beginning of the year I probably would not have said, but a whole season under his belt now, 72 games as a main choice goalkeeper. He's really proven himself, and I think he can be our main choice goalkeeper long term. We got Milorad Jovicevic, who looks good as well. He's only 17, got 2 years left in his deal. I think he could be amazing if he gets in the first team football. I don't know if I can give that to him though, so I might need to give him a bit of loan spells elsewhere, but hey, that's fine. We've also got Ivan Djuric, who we need to give loan spells to next year, along with potentially, well, we don't need to give Nemad Rudan loan spells. He's 15. He just came in our youth intake and is looking quite decent. Not even got a really major con to my knowledge, apart from the fact he's not good enough, but hey, he's 15. So we have a problem with the fact that this is our best right back, and I say that that's a problem, that Milos Popovic is our best right back. He's good enough for the division, but he's the only one that's good enough for this division, and I don't really see anyone replacing him. He also hates big matches, and the fact we've only got Branislav as the next best right back, and yes, he is a resolute personality player, but he's only really going to be a decent second tier player at best, apparently, which is not great. And the fact we only got Slobodan Jovanovic as the third best right back and second best left back is not ideal long term, I think. And you look at him, he's very inconsistent, hates big matches, and is only a third tier player who could be a decent top flight player, but the cons really do not make him an ideal candidate, and I might need to get rid of him long term. I really do. Don't miss it, we do have Dejan Zekovic out on loan. Do I think this guy could long term replace Popovic? Probably not, but he's out on loan. It could be worse. So yes, Hozo's now the best centre back, and it says he is also the best left back as well. I'm never going to use him as a left back. Let's be frank. This guy's a left back would be a disaster, but centre back looks good. He's only 19 too. He's got caps with under 21s of Bosnia. I think he will be long term our main choice centre back. We do need the time down, yes, but he's got so much potential and he's going to get so much better. I'm excited for him. Jasmine Cordovich. Now, this guy, I genuinely believe for once upon a time, could be the man to lead us long term. He's not. He's not at all. And yeah, it's disappointing. The unambitious person has his caught to him, unfortunately, and he just never really is going to be the man long term for us, and I think that's a shame. But it's not a shame when we got the likes of Mirko Milicevic, who I'm going to try and make it the long-term successor for Cordovich, and I think you can see why. This guy is 17, already got caps for the under-21s of Montenegro at the age of 17. I think he'll be first choice next year. I really do. And then we've got the likes of Radoslav Murder, who could also be really good. I'm probably wrong, but this guy looks quite good. And I'm excited for him. He's also only 17. And then we've got Luka Misic, who I think I need to give loan spells to next year because he needs to develop, and he's just turned 18. And he's already wanted. I think that's permanent. Yes, it's permanent deals. This guy at 6'5" could be a monster. We need to give him football one way or another, and I'm excited to see what we can do with him. I really am. Left back, well, Rakovic is the best left back on the team. And then we got the fact that this guy's a second best. It's not ideal. We do have the likes of Alexander Milanovic, who could long-term be really good. I don't know if he will, but if push comes to shove, I probably will give him the first team football. I'm really hopeful that Miodrag Jevtic could be really good long-term. He's only 15. He's got potential. I really hope that potential's not a lie, because I think he'd be really good long-term for us. So the manager Collins quite good. He's unsettled though. Apparently he wants to leave. He wants to go to a bigger club. The fact he's only 18, he's already starting to complain about that is a concern. He is 18. He's good enough for the first team in this division. He's inconsistent though. He's got resolute personality. He's exciting though, as far as I'm concerned, and that's pretty good, I think. We have sent Nanad out on loan, and he's developed quite nicely. So I think long-term, this would be a long-term successor for Colom if Colom was to leave. He is 20 though. I'm talking about him as a successor to Colom because of the fact he's out on loan and playing football when he's 2 years older. That's a concern, isn't it? So Mahir Bajramovic is good, isn't he? Box-to-box, ball midfielder. I think he's got enough to do stuff, and he's been really useful for me. Hasn't had his best season, mind you, but he's doing what I need him to do, and that's all I care about, really. Dejan Rakitic might become my captain as an unambitious personality player. I'm not sure that's a good thing or bad thing, but he is good enough for division and can get better. He likes big matches. He's inconsistent, but honestly, apart from the unambitious personality and inconsistency, I think he's quite good, and I use him as Bazala, which is kind of where he can play. And it's mad to say that's the case, but okay. Dadibor Bakic never really got a shot, unfortunately, as a first-team player, but he's got very good consistency, likes big matches. He's kind of a player that I can rely on to come on for the bench, even if he's not amazing. But yeah, it could be a good Superliga player in the future. I don't think he'll reach that potential, sadly, but he has potential, and I'm very happy with him, honestly. Lazar Bazic, 28 now. Really needs to get a long-term replacement for him, because at the age of 28, he will probably drop off sooner rather than later, but he is a good first-team player in this league. Consistent, like big matches, has good personality, decent, fairly determined. He's got a lot of things I like. I just wish he was younger, which sounds mad, but it is what it is, unfortunately. We've also got Maikan, who I play all across the front three. I wish he was better, but it feels like at times he's kind of lets me down a lot, and it's concerning. We've also got Alex Kostic, who's 32, and he's probably going to be let go sooner rather than later. I think at the end of his deal, he'll be gone. So I might give him just 1 more year. And yeah, he's got a lot of issues. I kind of just had him around because, you know, useful squad depth thing. It happened. I can play on both wings. It made sense to me long term. We've also got Vuk, who can play on both wings. Generally don't know what to do with him at times. And I'm not sure that's a good thing or a bad thing, really. Though we do have long-term replacements in Rajko Savic, who I think could be good long-term. Inconsistent, yes, but could be good long-term. We've also got Igor Burkic, who, again, probably better on the other side, but has so many positions he can play. It just makes sense to utilize him, even if he's not very consistent. We've also got the likes of Branislav Ramadani, and the annoying thing is he's consistent, but I just don't think he's ever going to develop because of his unambitious personality. Rakitic has proved me wrong in that, but yeah, this guy's annoying in that regard. He's 17. I need him to develop quickly. Whether he can or not, I don't know. So Stefan Dycovich is the man that is considered our hot prospect right now. And I think you can see why. I've played him 25 times this year. And he didn't get a great rating, but as a substitute, he's quite useful to bring on. And he's just getting better and better. So, I don't know. Good winger. I don't see him as a striker, despite the fact he can play there. I don't use an attacking midfielder, so despite the fact he could be really useful there, I don't think he will be good enough for it. But yeah, winger I can use him as, and I might even use an inverted winger from time to time. Even if he can't really play the role because of his fact his right foot is not strong. But I'm using him there anyway, because why not? I've actually got a lot of interesting left wingers, and Zoran Jovovic is another one of those players. Very inconsistent, but could be useful long term. And that along with Dusan Rasic, who he's either a striker or an attacking or winger. I don't know which yet. Very inconsistent, but could be useful. He is improving though, so I guess I couldn't really complain too much about him right now. And he's probably the best of the options of the next tier of wingers, really. Then we come to strikers, and Milorad Militic is really developing as a striker. Doesn't seem like it at the moment here, but he's kind of become really indispensable to me, and I like the fact he's so good. Whether or not he'll be really good long term, I don't know, but he's 19, he's got a 4-year deal. I kind of took a punt and made him not my most highest paid player, but one of them. And I just thought it made sense. The rentals of the guy is amazing. The technicals, not so much. He's got 16 heading despite the fact he's 5'9", which is not great long term. And if you look at the striker's role, we don't have a lot of options. There is one name that I haven't mentioned yet, and that's this. Predrag Markovic. And he's developing. Am I mad for thinking this is my long-term successor to Meditic as a striker? I want to hear your thoughts and opinions on this because I think he's my long-term successor for Meditic. He is 16. He's consistent. He does have injury problems, but so does Meditic. And long-term, this guy can develop. And I can almost certainly say I'm excited for him. He can also play as a winger, so if he doesn't play up front, he's got a role in the wings, and for me, that's exciting. We've got a lot of options going forward, I think. But this is the exciting part, and I couldn't believe when I first saw this. At the end of the season, our odds went from 900 to 1 to 250 to 1, and suddenly, we didn't look like the worst team in the league. Now, admittedly, those two teams at the bottom have all gone down. The fact that in the season preview, we suddenly look like a team that doesn't look like they will be finishing bottom of the table is kind of exciting, and, you know, why wouldn't I be excited about that? It just makes sense for me long term to look at this and think, we could be good. We could be really good. What could we do next year? Can we actually try and chance for Europe again next year? Or will we just fail like we've done in the last 2 years? I want to hear your thoughts and opinions of that down below. But what we're going to do is end this here. I hope that you guys have enjoyed yourselves. I hope you guys like and share this video and subscribe to the channel. It really does help me out a lot. But either way, until next time, goodbye. And well, good night.